the sound videoing doesn't seem to be smooth. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's about par, though, isn't it?
Was that?
That's about par.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems, that
It
seems
works fine whenever I
be
load it
difficult
up.
all the time.
I think it's just one of those settings.
Okay.
Okay.
You decided chapter 6 anyway?
Yes, we are in chapter 6. We spent a lot of time something else, but mm, yeah, we will. Chapter 6, that's we went 2 verses. So we didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I looked at my book, and my book looks like this. So, did you teach after last October one time? I thought you did.
Chapter, which one chapter?
When was the last time you taught Chuzhou
That
before today?
last
December.
a while,
Was it October?
even before that.
Okay, because this is, so when we teach, I always write my verse numbers, you know.
Mhm.
And so I went to here, to the end of chapter 5.
Yeah.
But my notes say start 5.1. And that was dated,
5.1.
yes, 5, so I'm usually pretty good about that kind of thing. So unless I missed a class, which I don't usually miss them.
Maybe just the end of chapter 5 where you mark.
So yeah, it's a place to start, 5.1, and that was October 29th. And then you covered the 10 attributes of Tantra,
Mhm.
and that's what I recall we did, as far as we go.
Maybe 6.1. No. Yeah,
So it says,
6.1.
no, that's my 5. I have a bad 5, see? 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. But that's okay. That chapter 5 did.
Definitely. Chapter 5 we went through.
I'm teasing.
We went through chapter 5. Because I remember 10 attributes.
Yeah, the 10 attributes, I wrote them down.
Was
So,
chapter 5.
okay, so then if that's
Yeah.
chapter 5, then that's good.
You can
Keep me on your toes.
never miss, but missing something.
I know where to find it, it's on the pillow.
Yeah.
Leaked out this year. Very interesting, we're running the air conditioner with the windows open. I wonder if there's a reason for that.
Well, none of us have gotten up to closing windows.
Today I did, we didn't run.
It was warm today. So,
Yeah, it was.
and those were open the last couple of days anyway. Because
I
it,
can hear it.
overnight, you know, it was mid-60s, low 60s.
Sure.
You know, so cool.
They are friendly to you or they?
Oh, they're very funny.
Good.
It's nice to see your manifestation in person.
Yeah.
I know, now you know how short, how tall I am.
And
On
vice
Zoom,
versa.
you cannot tell.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
How are the teachings today?
From two. This is not so. Zoomed.
So we'll do opening prayers on page 5 of the prayer book. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
我诵经就当作业就能了，爱上就巴尔的大念教尊前，大给见所今别诵经。扬州来并且三界诸法。
May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
我们能够到两边圣洁长洁，这我要当也有。 대단요
And then on page 16. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their commentaries according to the dispositions and mental capacity of sentient beings.
We have some question and answer first, and then we will go through the text. I'm not sure how we can do either Lincoln can say, or Virginia, you can get the questions, or how we can get the questions.
So I actually have my Zoom on here, so I at least have the questions on Zoom. And then if there are questions in the room, also Lincoln can give you the mic. So with the first question we have on Zoom. Oh, actually, you know what? We're muted, Lincoln. Can you, I think we're muted. The Drongur is muted.
No, you're fine now. You're fine now.
Are we good?
Yes, sound is great
Okay.
now.
Sorry, I was confused by my own mute button. Can you explain what is meant by appearance and possibilities, Nangsi? It seems to be a specific term that is used over and over. Is this referring to the world and beings, relative and ultimate truth, something else? Like what I think he's saying, what are these two categories? Nangsi.
Yes, Tibetan Nangsi usually Nangwa, Nu Jin Jik Ten, also Nangwa, Nu Le Kogoris, Nu Jin Jik Ten. Ziba Juji Sim Chen Song, Sim Chen Le Kogo. And that in he told the Jurdu, Dra Tejer Chisha, the Nawas, the appearances, Zibas and Yoba. The Kogurjerton, Yena possibilities, the Recon and Regulatory Carson, some Jan Dramanda, Mambo Yoro, the Hindu, Missy Bameva Noch, and the Cois, and Rigus and Dona, could we chew La Cogur and Nancy Serge? The Tijela, Nancy Gila, Corndesa, Nancy Corndes. And now I'm moving you can see, but you some gente, Corvala Cone, then young Ellen Deba Sero, thing corn days, Nancy corn day, then Yam to young children.
So generally speaking, this term Nangsi, which is sometimes translated as appearance and existence or appearances and possibilities. So what it's usually referring to is the Nangwa part of it, which is usually translated as appearances, or all that appears, is referring to the container that is the universe, or sort of the container or the environment. And Siba which is sometimes translated as possibilities or existence, is usually referring to the inhabitants so of the sentient beings therein. So the container of the universe and the inhabitants who dwell in the universe, the sentient beings. And this is like Sipa, he was saying, is also like, it literally means, yeah, that which is, or those which are, that which exists, or possibilities. And possibilities works because you have such a variety of sentient beings, all sorts of sentient beings. So there's like, nothing essentially that's impossible in terms of what can and what type of beings and so forth can manifest. So that's why, possibilities is kind of an apt translation. And then usually Nangsi is followed by Kurde, which is, samsara and nirvana, all appearances and possibilities of samsara and nirvana, or the phenomena of samsara and nirvana. And so the Nangsi, or appearances and possibilities, referring to that, from the perspective of samsara and the sentient beings of samsara, or nirvana, which is the day part of Korde, like Nyangin Ledeba. Which literally is, the state beyond sorrow.
Nikap gabs ziba chigbol, ziban kamsum kurwasan, and kamsum jin kurwata zibasan, te jargandua. In the as a Poliana and Dogons, Combachembo and Dogonke, doing like changing all the Kati, Siban Colo Tioro, the Siban Colo Sindo. The Siban Colo Nala, the name, direct talk, talked on tender juni, the edge Tamaric Pandosha, not them to so chad and true and part and the so school. And then Ziban comes from Croate, Ziban Colonala, on the Ziban comes on Corvaset, and the Nigeris, and then Tishawara in the Yores, Zipa Chibola, and comes on Corvate, Ziba saying that Ziban comes on Corvalaco.
Oh, okay. And so the Sipa part, or existence, is really just referring to samsara, like the three realms of samsara. And so in Tibet, for instance, there's the depiction of the 6 realms. What is that called? I forget what the other, there's another name, like a Sanskrit name. But anyway, the wheel of existence that you see, that's depicted on the side of many monasteries and, on the walls. And it shows it's depicting the 3 realms of so this is referring to the 3 realms of cyclic existence, and particularly the 6 classes of sentient beings with the 12 links of dependent origination. And in the center, there's the representations of desire, anger, and ignorance as a cock or a chicken, a snake, and a pig. Right? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is, for instance, referred to as the wheel of existence, which is that same word, Sipa. So it is like, this is what is referred to by possibilities or existence, all of the different beings and samsara and states in samsara. Thank you. What is it? Bhava Chakra.
Sipa.
What's that? Wheel of becoming.
Wheel of becoming, or yeah, but that part also. Not a pardos labravati and Chica pardo, Chuni pardo, Ziba pardos do the name. Jewalan, Layat Panda will be becoming Ziba second, Jewalan.
So yeah, so the wheel of becoming is also connected with the bardo. So the bardo of becoming, we have the different types of bardo. So like, the bardo of death, the bardo of the innate nature, the bardo of becoming, and then the bardo of birth. And so the wheel of becoming is, yeah, all of the different kind of marking all of the different states that one can take rebirth in and samsara.
Yes, very.
Just one really brief question. This is translation question for Kempo.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Kempo, how would you translate into English without using Sanskrit? The Chuying Rinpoche Zu, like the Chuying Zu in English without Sanskrit.
Mhm. I like to use yin. It's not just basic space. Seems maybe expanse is better. And Chu yin is Chu is not just Dharma. I mean, it's Dharma Ta here. And so we could use the precious tertiary of reality expanse or expanse of reality.
The precious treasury of the expanse of reality.
Mhm.
That's nice.
Yeah. That's my English. Oh,
Oh,
okay. Then see, there is some transmissions going on here. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay. Yes.
You, previously, you
Little louder. Sorry.
you used the word oscillation. The phenomena arise from the ground and then they gather back, never wavering from the ground. Is this what Nagarjuna meant when he said neither coming nor going?
Yes, I think that's very important to understand Madhyamaka, which is, of course, we are the second Nagarjuna tradition, Lutum Nyingpa, and Tender Nela Wanjur Ndugongpa, Tender.
Master of interdependence.
Said Tony Gitan Tombala, Tender Le Lakwe, Rikpatang. Tumbala, and Tender Le Lakwe, Rikwayo Maris, Tindu, Ludropte, Tender La Wanjurvik, Pentata, Chamboris, Tiki, and Ludumnibate, Jarvantum Bindu, Tender Nela Wanjurva, Ndumbaris.
So as there is no instruction that illustrates the truth of emptiness or the meaning of emptiness better than interdependence or dependent origination, or there's no mind that like let's
Rikpa is logic.
Oh, there's
Reason.
no logic.
Reason.
Okay, not with a sa. Okay.
Mhm.
So there's no logic that illustrates the truth of emptiness better than dependent origination. And for this reason, Nagarjuna is the master of interdependence. And then the second Nagarjuna, our master of interdependence, is said to be Lord Jigten Sumgun.
Tender than Tony Jitante Ako Matobina, then oscillations at the Kalikabores, Karisina. Tender than Tony Jitan Chiquain Bahako, the Hindu Kang Nawa Tamchi.
Wait,
Tombani. Kang Nawa Tamchi. Tangent Ranjung in Bichum Sanchi, Tombaris. Kong Tomba in Butter, Tender Wanki, non Chogaris. And the Kong Tomba in Be Wanki, and 댄들지 초르서 낭초가 그래서 동바 많이나 그 추로는 소속이 살데디발레 온주와 탭시가 말와 댄들스도 현실 땡고 그래서 그래서 인도 한다 옛나야 된다 지구발이 단다 그래서 초탐피 초지행의 샤르 용어를 때 초지행의 요요 말에서야 중산的 가르쳐나 동바 인베 왕게 나와를 때 나데베 값서 동백 어워트 내려를 마도 동백 어워트 내려를 마도 동바를 현다 조리요 말봐 대인도 에 개체 모레스 루드탄다 오메기숑트 개체 모레스
So if one doesn't understand the meaning and the relationship between dependent origination or interdependence and emptiness, then it's difficult to say that there's oscillation because the interdependence itself is the meaning of emptiness and vice versa. So emptiness and interdependence or dependent origination are one and the same. Because whatever it is that appears, the reason that there is all these appearances is because of interdependence, but it wouldn't be possible for interdependence to occur without emptiness. So all of the appearances of interdependence are because of or are due to the truth of emptiness. And because they are empty, then there is the possibility there for manifestation. There's the possibility of interdependence. It is because of emptiness that the phenomena of interdependence or appearances can manifest. If things existed from their own side, this wouldn't be possible. Interdependence wouldn't be possible. So they're actually one and the same. And it's the same, this is the same principle here with all phenomena arising from the Dharmadhatu and dissolving into the Dharmadhatu, or manifesting from the Dharmadhatu, but never wavering from the Dharmadhatu. They can manifest from the Dharmadhatu because their very nature is that of the Dharmadhatu, because all of it is empty. That is what makes the manifestation possible. There isn't anything other than emptiness itself, which is manifesting. And this is the same as what Nagarjuna taught in terms of, the relationship between interdependence and emptiness.
네, 자치 친로도 이나 나와 작배 잔다크디 알송도선 대체는 뭐 담지 또나요 또니 달랍 기억은 jorson 대체는 뭐 담지 또나요 또니 달랍 용은 jorson 뭐 담지 똥바이나요 또니 라 또니 네 어느 뭐 담지 제용 거를 샤용 거를
And likewise, Chandrakirti said, just as all phenomena, even though all phenomena are emptiness, all phenomena arise from emptiness. So arising from emptiness, all phenomena are themselves the nature of emptiness. Very
important. In a tantric practice, sadhanas, we have Savarana, Fong, Savarana, Pei. So these two are Drodu. Yeah, Drova is
So he's talking about in the sadhanas, the emanating out
yeah,
and the gathering back in.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. This is called Drodu in Tibetan. That's its oscillation. Any?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Actually, are there a couple? Sorry, which, I saw B's question. Is that it? B's, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses, so I can't see you. You go ahead and read them, Lincoln. Thank
So
you.
the question from Brian is, I'm asking Kempo regarding dynamic energy. Dynamic energy is usually a different term. The third aspect is Tukje, dynamic energy being Sal. Usually translated as compassion or compassionate responsiveness or all pervasive compassion. So he's trying to understand perhaps the terms, dynamic
Lincoln,
energy.
that's me. His question is earlier.
What?
I don't know what James is saying.
Brian's question is earlier in the chat.
Got it.
Oh, okay. No, I see Brian's question. Does Brian want his question answered, or was that to you, James?
No, it was to Kempo. He wants it answered, and so would I.
He wants it answered. I see it now, I think. So he wants dynamic energy is usually a different term, Sal, right? Sal?
No, you're reading my response. His is up
I'm
higher.
reading your, oh, sorry. Okay. Sometimes when the third aspect, is it that one?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes when the third aspect of the ground is described, I saw the term all pervasive compassion. Yet sometimes I come across the term dynamic energy. What is the relationship between them? The tukje kunkya dang tsalgi dawa garayore.
Rizal是对接通女朋友的时候，我不看了女朋友了。早是的，因为你啊，突击了高高要嘛的。但是突击的那种我让伊突击送个囊呢，突击的出去了高高吧。这吧的，那呢，上级个各种他们的，什么那么那样的突击了的呢，哪个要的是突击咋的是那这个。因早接通可能使用的呢，我让伊突击送给个早，日别个早生的话，日别个早的，你起了下用啊的了，当时呢，那我了，因的早是的，因为你用上不及了可快啊，面对早是的，鸟毛被个早要，鸟毛被个早嘞，人都加些东啊，那么我家用。写raad sonala. Roger, the Charles the new pajil cook, no more in a new priore, Yishi in a new priore, and to gain a new priore, Thomas new priores.
So this term Sal, which you use the translation of dynamic energy, I think. This is like actually it literally means like the energy or power of really any given thing or anything. It doesn't necessarily refer to the all pervasive compassion. I think that's how you the all pervasive compassion. So when we talk about the three characteristics, the essence, the empty essence, the nature and the nature of clarity and the all pervasive compassion. So the all pervasive compassion is referring to like all, for instance, the Nirmanakaya emanations, actually not just the Nirmanakaya emanations, but all sorts of, emanations of the Buddha's three kayas that manifest as this all pervasive compassion, which is actually ultimately all phenomena. So you can speak of dynamic energy in relation to the all-pervasive compassion, like the dynamic energy of the all-pervasive compassion, or the display of the all-pervasive compassion. But then we also speak of this term, dynamic energy or display, in relation to awareness itself, like the display or the dynamic energy of Rigpa, or the display or dynamic energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be in this context positive display, because you can also speak of afflictive emotions as being Tsal, or this dynamic energy, or manifestation, because you have, so it can be like it really is referring to the power. So the power of or energy of the afflictive emotions, or the energy of primordial awareness. So it can be describing either one, this dynamic energy of affliction, this dynamic energy of primordial awareness, or pristine awareness.
Mhm. Any more? No?
I think there is one
Okay.
more, actually.
I think there's one more.
Yeah. B, right? Is it B's question?
Okay.
It is often said something is beyond or transcends two contradictory states, like made or not made, existence or non-existence, samsara and nirvana. Does it mean there is a third option? What exactly does it mean to transcend and be beyond something? So, Gadiyana de le depa yore.
Yeah.
You understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Conceptually, I understand, but then the contradiction and I think paradoxicals only exist in our conceptual mind. We learned that I often jokingly say we learn that from school, and whole schooling thing is we mainly learn how to survive in samsara and how to get along. If someone doesn't caught you, you can do many other violated things, but at least we have these tactics to make samsara seems to a little bit better. So that's the whole purpose of the schooling thing.
Of the
And
schooling thing.
yeah,
Mhm.
for human behaviors is that. And what we know is very little beyond our concept. And paradoxical and these contradictory things, what we think. Yes, exactly, is in samsara. I think if we think about these logical rules, we call logics. That's why we like logics, and reasons that we think it can warrant things, can prove things. But that doesn't necessarily mean it can reach to the actual reality. We are framed in this paradoxical world, and then that's why interdependent is also part of it, to saying we need to rely on something. Without relying on something, we will not survive. But there's no others either, so we cannot rely on other because there's no other, which means no self means no other. And anyway, that's what we call Buddhist teaching. That's why faith is very important. And the devotion is the main practice. And Buddha say, if you have no faith, and it's like burned seed, will not give any result. And then he said, "Tun tambi dembana tibi tokor shawa konaoya." The tun tambi demba tibi tokor shawa konao. Hiendagi tot maris teba konares. Ade anson roton jerwa. Ayina semlin deba tela yichi ne tene da chu drop gogor chu drops ne yichi tene tene chu drop gogore mato. Soma rikwa rang long la tene rikwa la tene drop gona drop to be ma rikwa set natsu sun tong de lo tan tumbi kecha jire mato telin devi kecha marwa mato indu paradoxical read natsu la read diorete.
So simle depa yi chi ni pen simle depa faith la sungdio marawa simle depa.
Semlin deba tela yichi gogores. Ene ta ngarong lama
Then it chu dru by gari yichi la gari.
semlin deba tela yichi ne chu drop gogoro.
Oh chu dru.
Semlin debi chuni. ene dzogchen rangi chuki la gyuli manjung bi sanji semli machung bi rikpa longli machung bi menga
Chu le chung le
sanji
saje.
semli machung bi rikpa longli machung bi menga sa pecha rangta dina ndrigyo marti menga ji bogo arwa indu sanji sayad gyuli dani chunga mayimba de yichi bogo arwa rangi simnyi tichu sanji imi.
So it is said that the only way to really realize the meaning of the ultimate truth is through faith. So faith is really the primary factor, and so having faith in that which transcends kind of the ordinary mind, or which is beyond the mind or beyond thought. It's with that faith or that confidence or trust that we practice the Dharma. But also in the context of Dzogchen, it is said, I don't know if this is correct, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Buddha that is not arisen from Dharma.
Cause.
Oh, cause.
Yeah.
Oh, not chulema. Yeah. The Buddha that is not arisen from a cause, the mind that is not
Rikpa.
arisen from
Rikpa.
awareness or rikpa, simle majungwe rikpa, simle ma.
Rikpa.
Oh, awareness that is not arisen from mind. And pith instructions that are not arisen from scripture. And so there's this confidence that is needed in terms of really trusting that the true nature of your own mind is the Buddha. That's the real meaning of Buddha.
Tene takale yore sakaresana ko tawat matsu to mato bina tene ta ichi chi shajure mato tene shenda tap kayam.
And it's difficult because it requires that we have some faith, because until we have actually realized the view, then all we can do is trust. There's not any other recourse or method.
속사 드바 탁비 락제동 똑된 라미 실랍 코나레 탑 현된 뭐 몽바 시브르지 송으로
Sosa dang.
소사바 당 드바 탁바 티기 락제스나 티기 좀지 진데탈라 때네 때네 그 잠시 많이 봐 똑같은 덴비 라미 실랍 말나와 괜히 마토 탑 현다 자네 요 말스 그제 괜히도 인지민이 된 거래서 괜히도 속사 드바타고 락제탕 똑된 라미 실랍 코나레 탑 현된 뭐 멤버십지 손다 너나 아 이 롱더 리바 맘보 네 좀네 좀요 서그레 되나 근데 이치랑 랑의 이치된 뭐지 매바이나 되는 추접사도 되는 갈리카보르 이나 다 저송 남주 롱의 삼철도 많던 바탄들 때네 네 이제 안 가봐 근데 동의 어르트 동시바르트 있나 이치트 먹고 해야 돼 개침 버렸어.
So also the Kagyu masters say, apart from, only through the methods of gathering the accumulations and purifying the obscurations, and through the blessings of a qualified spiritual teacher, with genuine realization, apart from that, there is no other method to realize Mahamudra. So it is necessary, absolutely necessary to have these two. These are the only methods. Apart from that, there is nothing else. And so in brief, we can rely on lots of different, scripture and reasoning. But ultimately, we have to have stable faith. We have to have stable trust. Without that, it really isn't possible to accomplish the Dharma. It is, and I'm not sure, Kimbo, that I understood this part correctly, but you can maybe have some of created opinions that are contradictory, that you might have some sort of, I didn't understand that wrong. Samsul Dangawa.
Wrong samsul dangawa. It's something that when you study Dharma and pointing out or we study these kind of profound meanings, you will find some contradictories, paradoxicals.
Some things that
because-
contradict your own opinions.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Due to your own opinion, yeah. So until we become no opinion, then we are opinionated person. So it's no matter what, we are open-minded, but still quite narrow-minded. But that's maybe good for want to protect country or world or family or neighbors, but it has limits.
Has its limits.
Yeah.
There is one more question.
Thank you, Lincoln.
No more questions?
No, there's
One
one
more.
more.
Oh.
So on the top of page 47, that paragraph, there's a line that says lucid and uncompounded. It can be compared to the sun shining in the empty sky.
Mm.
The question is, what is lucid and what is uncompounded?
So in the Tibetan,
Nikkei.
Dumache, Yunjere, Dumache, Dang, lucid is maybe, what is lucid?
인가신도 똥사람들 맛이 따져.
Yeah, Tongsal,
어.
Tongsal Dang Dumache, Gitunda Karere.
Yes, in samsara, what we call dushis. Dushi means something compounded things. We think, I use this loose term, but we think means seems to be there's something that needs something. For example, a nice tree in front of our temple seems to need many conditions. Yeah. Dorji and I talked about in the Tibet we have Chulutu here. So these 4 words condense everything. Need to chew, need to
Water.
yu,
Need fertilizer,
chu,
warmth or heat, like sunlight essentially.
here,
What is here?
liquid water.
Oh, I
Here.
thought chew is water.
But the chew is lemba. Moist.
Moisture.
Yeah, moist. Chulutu here, yeah.
So water, fertilizer, warmth and moisture.
Mm-hmm. Then maybe we can grow something. So seems to need that. Of course, in a dream, if you wanted to grow a tree, maybe also we think seems to need that too. That's called duxie, compounded.
The
Need-
need for those things.
Yeah, needs conditions called
The conditions,
compounded.
all these conditions coming together means compounded.
And now we go back to the beyond and transcendent, and then Rigpa doesn't need any of those
Conditions.
conditions. Rigpa is not interdependent. But don't jump into Nagarjuna's logic that if it is not interdependent, then it's not emptiness. But now our mind is quite tolerate these number contradictions, so we can accept that. So our mind is empty yet luminous, yet it's uncompounded. Or contradiction, but for realizers, there's no contradiction. So as long as we have contradiction in our mind, means we still have room to grow.
If it seems like a contradiction, we know we don't understand.
Exactly. Yeah. If we think we need something, means we need to do something. That's why a few desperate people do stupid things because they think it's necessary. And so you can see how people are desperate. They think seems to need something to kill someone or rob someone or doing something. So similarly, if we think there is contradiction and we need to resolve that, also means we still have space to grow. Yeah. And those are, I'm just here pushing a little bit beyond limits. It helps because if we repeat again and again 1,000 times and saying the same thing, that be a good person and don't steal neighbor's chicken and so forth is good, but it doesn't really help that much. So be brave, and Buddha is inside you, and but that doesn't necessarily mean you have right to hurt others. So others Buddha too. Yeah, is that's the same thing. Okay, any?
Any way we could increase the gain on Kimbo's mic? I guess that's just yeah, you're working on it. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing else, I don't think.
I think next time, if someone questions,
Oh, there's another question.
put in a
from
different
B.
chat box.
Oh, yeah, the question should be separate. That would
Yeah.
be helpful. Oh, so we already got that one. It's right. B, were all your answers were all your questions answered? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And I don't mean that we need to ignore all the contradictions, but firstly, we need to learn how to, if there's example that first we do preliminary practice and then slowly doing main practice and then sixth yoga of Naropa and so forth, Mahamudra. It's like a first infant can only get just milk, maybe, then you need to slowly eat rice and foods that can digest. So similarly here, we say first need to learn the logic of Nagarjuna, and then we need to ignore that after a while. If we don't know that logic, then we still think these things are solid. And then if these things are solid, then I must be some entity that lasts quite long, but it's not in that way. So be brave, and then we can read here more. Yeah, we are 49. That's that truth. We are 49.
Okay. Oh,
47.
47.
Okay. Yeah, now I see. Second paragraph. Simnilon chen julme namke ngorurbangi me shonjo samjeza kunde tegba gunlong jurube shanme jegi tamchi serje haru jurube yunna me shonji shonjo samle karmayo.
Mind itself is an unchanging, vast expanse, the realm of space. Its display, the dynamic energy of awakened mind, is indeterminate in that it entails mastery over samsara, nirvana, and all spiritual approaches. This unique state in which nothing need be done outshines everything else. There is no context anywhere that constitutes an extreme. There is no straying at all from the true nature of phenomena, the awakened state or awakened mind. Yeah.
Changchup the same song here, and then a song be Changchup the same. Say the Namjung also Changchup the same Damendapandi, Chu Namjin Nelo. He nel wrong semi they were keeping batala Changchup Sam Sunger. The Indu that Changchup Dona Chu Tam Jid Changchup Sam Jitzarli Sharion. Race that's all Sharvig Rolba said Rolba Nemis Rolba Nepa Maris, the Shardan, the Mishars, the Nepa Maris.
So there, so diniti data jangchugisem dangchitang jangchugisem chabayore sungimbe data.
So Namju Changchup the same said, good of Changchup the same, Todam Changchup the same. Then good of Changchup Sam, Mombatan Jukba Changchup Sam, Yeva Chairva. I didn't do your cup, so as a Changchup the same said, 그래서 장첩 쌤 치매바 희고네 쌤 지그 열어봐 쌤제담지 대화단 대의 죄송된 말 주지 동아다 동아를 죄송 잘을 주 동아를 다 담바담 말을 주 예능 차도니도 저 동영도 이런 거 내버 쳐지서 대 치매바 희고네 장첩 쌤데 아주 지그 지스나다 generate sendo rouse sendo ndona 장첩 쌤데 롱줄 메바트 제와 시그여봐 디갑 상첩 그 셈세야데 랑 심니 키 ngotal 상첩 그 셈세 슬라 아테네 요단 카르스나 요단스나다 되게 아 ngo 랑 이투게 솜 히용도 된 ngo 동바초 랑 이사발롱 투게 군자 투르크 좀그 당니
Oh, so ngo jugo 용고.
도나 랑 심니테 대버시 그닝 보탈 상첩 셈세
So first of all, so here the translation, so it might not strike one so much because the translation is a little bit different, but as we use, so the awakened mind is how it is translated, but the word in Tibetan is Jangchu Gisim, which is also how we translate the mind of awakening or bodhicitta. And usually we think of it in terms of like the sutra definition of bodhicitta or the mind of awakening, where we have the relative and the ultimate bodhicitta, the relative bodhicitta being comprised of the aspiration and application bodhicitta. This type of bodhicitta, which then eventually evolves into the ultimate bodhicitta, is developed through the four immeasurables, with the aspiration that all beings may have happiness, and the causes of happiness being the immeasurable love, that they may be separated from suffering, and the causes of suffering being immeasurable compassion, that they may never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow, which is immeasurable joy, and that they may have equanimity, free from attachment and aversion, immeasurable equanimity. And so bodhicitta is something that we develop, that we generate, kind of rousing the mind of bodhicitta. But here, bodhicitta, or which is translated in this text as the awakened mind, but it's the same word in Tibetan as what we translate as the mind of awakening or bodhicitta. It's really referring to the essence of the true nature of mind. And what are the qualities of that? They are the empty essence, the nature, the aspect of clarity, and the all-pervasive compassion. The empty essence being the Dharmakaya, the nature of clarity, or the aspect of clarity being the Sambhogakaya, and the all-pervasive compassion being the Nirmanakaya. So it's the three kayas that are actually the Tathagarbha, or the Buddha nature, the true essence of awareness that abides as the Buddha nature. And so also the same essence of, this isn't apart from or separate from the true nature of all phenomena. So this, without, in the state of non-duality, there's only this single essence, which is the true nature of awareness. And so this awakened mind experiences all phenomena that appears and it is and exists is none other than the dynamic energy or the display of awareness or Rigpa. And yet this display is uncertain. So as it says, where's, I'm sorry, I lost where we were in the English. It's on page 47. The second paragraph, right? So its display, the dynamic energy of awakened mind, is indeterminate, meaning that, there isn't any certainty that it appears in this way and does not appear in that way, but it is indeterminate in its manifestation.
And if you really want to see how Longchenpa described this awakened mind or bodhicitta on page 125. If maybe it's difficult to switch, just this one, if you can read that.
So this is Longchenpa's definition of it,
That is in the Chuyingzu.
which is in the Chuyingzo
But
itself
that's the definition of the
on page 125.
bodhicitta.
In the spacious expanse of the ground of being, naturally occurring timeless awareness is refined because it is timelessly immaculate, unsullied by samsara. It is consummate because enlightened qualities are spontaneously present, beyond cause and effect. It is mind because self-knowing awareness is the utterly lucid heart essence. Everything is subsumed and completely pure within awakened mind. So I think what he's doing is actually breaking down the words Zhang, Chu, Sem. So Zhang he translates as refined, which is also sometimes, refined or purified. Chu he translates as consummate, which also is like kind of fully developed or fully full of because enlightened qualities are spontaneously present, and mind because self-knowing awareness is utterly lucid, is the utterly lucid heart essence.
Jirtong Chang and Chop Serdu Nyomo Bada Shiji Riba Tamshi Park Song Watel Chang Sendo Chang Sendo Park Tenro.
Pak Dun. So the first syllable of the word Zhangchu Sim, so Zhang means purified, meaning purified, or what is it that is purified? The obscurations of afflictive emotions and the cognitive obscurations. So that purified state is the is like the state of Aryas, or the level of Aryas, or like noble ones.
Inaya Dikap so Tanda Yeni Chiming Kurbi Maku Changs Ye Dumani Kurbi Chimig Dane then Ku Tribio Maris Timibik Chane Changs Ye Dumani Chang Devare Mato then it's sort of Chene Gomjamne Changsong Tene Maris Rong Simite Ye Dumani Kunun Kurbi Chimig Maku Bares.
However, here, so this is the difference, because here what Zhang is referring to is the primordial purity, that from the beginning, originally, there has never been any stain of samsara. There has never been any obscuration, that there's only the primordial purity. And so therefore there is no process of like meditation and purification to get to the state of purification, because it is already primordially pure.
Ne chang se du par talks ma tala ko du chup se du sor yuden de rang ju le jewa le sendo chuba kong du chuba se kong du chuba sendo ka tin du chuba de dogba yuden ju le sor jewa ta ko ge ina yan di kap so yuden sendo jundin de bi chup song
Gande yonten
yuden sendo yene yodante rong jule lunji trub de yori inji meni zorub cheni so drop koya yo mar chup koya maris indu junrin debes jodan rivule devares te in bichum salatane dana chop segores.
What the different options of chup are.
You want to?
I just want to look at the different ways people translate chup.
Okay.
So chupa or chup, which is maybe like developed or accomplished or perfected, kind of brought to full expression, or here he translates it as consummate. And so this is referring to the development of all the perfective qualities in the mind stream from the sutra perspective, right? So once there is purification, then there is the accomplishment or perfection of the enlightened qualities. It is something that is developed or generated, these qualities. But here it is referring to the already spontaneously accomplished or spontaneously arisen perfected qualities that are there primordially as the very essence of awareness. So it is these spontaneously accomplished consummation or perfection of qualities that transcends cause and result.
Then sem, son that sem said, and I'm doing a sorry. Sem the request and kai it here in a gab sem to do request and none wrong gay semi teletor go the sem said. Hey, wrong ring was a talk with Sam on wrong. He request day was a big dani. Shin the number talk by him, but tell her, then Sam stand on a chang chop, Sam sanitism. Somebody yene, you then soon you drop there, but try and talk there, but Sam Jiran you was a tell her chang chop the same. Sergio, Dana.
And so then the word mind, there's sem in Tibetan, and sometimes there's this distinction made between sem and rikpa, or mind, like limited mind, and intrinsic awareness mind, or rikpa. But here, sem or mind is referring to the true nature of mind, that because a self-knowing awareness is the utterly lucid heart essence. So it is the intrinsic awareness that is the self nature of luminosity, and is utterly lucid and self-aware. So then everything is subsumed and completely pure within awakened mind.
Okay, then that is bodhicitta, Sanskrit chitta is mind. So we now know that exactly what does bodhicitta mean and awakened mind mean. Now, so now there's two terms in here, Rulpa and Zal, and both in here. Zal, we know that is dynamism or dynamic energy that what use. And then Rulpa. Rulpa is here some translate as display. So Zal, Dang, Rulpa, so in a Dzogchen term, there's almost
the same, yeah. Sometimes I translate Sal as display. Oops, yeah.
Dang.
Sal.
The Dang is expression, I think, some sort of. So Zal is the sort of potential energy, a dynamism that can produce or push appearances could appear. And that is called Dang. Dang means something arise as appearance. And the Rulpa, usually Ro, we often use in Tibet, Sharzil Ro means enjoy or participate, or so means now you are, or we are engaging objects. So
Engaging with objects.
engaging with objects.
Rolpa is also sometimes translated as play, right? Play or
And also play. You can pretend you are something else too. On stage of play, you can play different what they call different
characters.
different characters. So then it's very obvious that something alluring or attractive or deceiving something. So samsara is
A
nothing but
rolpa.
rolpa. But however, its roots in Changchup Sem and Rigpa and Rigpa Zhao and Dang, and then comes to rolpa. However, in the Chunyingzu, sometimes mention rolpa Zhao Jing Hunbi Ji Xia Liang Ye.
Rolpe,
Zhao Qi
chi,
Hunbi
korde,
Ji Xia Liang.
chi, shar.
So rolpa has Zhao, and it's further display the samsara and the nirvana. So we know our mind is very complicated and can project good and bad and so and ugly things. Yeah.
So is it like the dynamic energy of display manifests as like anything, what, like the entirety of samsara and nirvana?
Yeah. We will see, or we already saw that. Now I don't remember what exactly page that is, but we will see that rolpa has Zhao. Supposedly Zhao is come first, but rolpa has, of course, has dynamism and potentiality. So it can make our life more colorful. Dharma practitioners should have colorful life. Okay.
Really the most colorful religion, Tibetan Buddhism.
Tibetan
In terms
religion.
of like literally colorful.
Tibetan religion.
Yeah, Tibetan Buddhism.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
In terms of religions, all religions, there's no religion as literally colorful as this one.
Yeah, you will see. Nice to have something rather than nothing. So, Kundi Tigbakun La Wang Jurweson, and then Kurwata Nyangel and Devi Chu Tamchi Ndurna, Hyongchup Semgi, Wang Jur de Gores, Songchup Semgi, Wang Machurba, Jekyon Yomares.
So is that that's in the text?
Supposedly in
Fifth line?
yeah,
Oh, I can't
here,
see.
a third line.
In that it entails mastery over samsara, nirvana, and all spiritual approaches. This unique state in which nothing need be done outshines everything else.
Nurna anda the Dzogchen Chuki, the so this ne Hakova Chine Ranglo Wayna ta Migo Bashira Yujimare Tindita and Matson, the Manjods, logins. A Chuki or a Chuki is not trumlo. It's so La Kova turned out the Karim Kova to Lebachis. The Chine, the ne, I bet at Malogwaina. Jerton Migo Bashira, Ko Meto Bashira Yujimares, the ne, and the Nema, Kali logins.
So now, because there, so just explaining some of this like Dzogchen terminology, but as we continue, there isn't, it's pretty straightforward. So there isn't much to like not understand. So he's going to continue to read through the text.
Maybe we can try to say Nagarjuna has one thing to say. Hong la Hong ba ni rong wa. 텔 탐지 롱원죠. 공로 돈이 머롱바 텔 탐지 롱마이 송. 돈바니
Wait, Tony Romba.
강 강사지 기주라 돈바니 세야드 답데고 로르 샤 티코와테 자 티코동데 렘니 로라 롱세나 로라 삼근도나 근데 하나 머롱바 스티통 요 바레스 돈이 들로르 주로 미제트네 돈이 들 롱주르 미제틀 이치메나 근데 하나 람도 용시 말했어 람도가 말했어 오늘 돈이 머롱와 털탐지 롱마 있으더다 정말 아 작동 요런 통대 거로
Okay, so I am not sure that I understand this, so you're gonna probably have to
Yeah.
redo it, but so in an individual who's who in the mind of an individual who has like begun to accept emptiness or understand, Nagarjuna says this, who has begun to accept or see or kind of accept emptiness, there's some understanding that has arisen, then kind of like there's nothing that's not possible, is that for such an individual. But if there, for somebody who has no faith in emptiness,
maybe suit is better.
what's that?
The emptiness doesn't suit.
Oh, doesn't suit, yeah.
Wrong.
So for somebody who like to whom like or somebody who like how do you say that? For somebody who emptiness really suits, then anything is possible for that person. For somebody to whom emptiness is not suitable, then kind of nothing really works out for them. Why? Because everything then becomes like a solid object of attachment and aversion, because they're just completely bound by attachment and aversion.
Yes. If that's suitable for us, then this text is will be very easy. If it doesn't suit this concept in us, then it's quite contradictory and also paradoxical, and maybe even
Someone
more
who's
than that.
suited to emptiness, yeah.
Is that okay? Wrong?
Yeah, no. I
Kong
was
la
just thinking
tong-
that.
Kong la tong ba ni rong wa kang la su la yi wa. Tong ba ni rong ge nu na.
Mhm.
Tell tam chi rong wan ju.
Like if emptiness is suitable to you or to someone, then everything becomes suitable. Right?
Yes.
Or if you're suited to emptiness, you're suited to everything.
Kong la tong ni ma rong wa. Tell tam chi rong ma yi.
Kamche marungwa.
Rong ma yi, ma rong.
Yeah, Rongmayan.
yeah.
And on the other hand, for somebody who's not suited to emptiness or to whom emptiness is not suitable, then nothing becomes suitable or nothing is suited to them.
Exactly. Even meditate on a deity, maybe deity becomes something either wonderful or terrifying or
Oh, and actually, James just provided an authoritative translation for us. For whom emptiness is possible, anything is possible. So translating Rongwa is possible. For whom emptiness is not possible, nothing is possible.
I think suit is better.
Acceptable. That was, yeah.
Okay. So we are good people, so don't need to worry about that part, but sometimes need to remind us, even good people sometimes make bad decisions, yeah. Okay. Amjigun zong zondro je xerawe malugun de janda chawe cho chewe chewa gun zong chu je yen jarbo ta tamjigun de kunde gun la wonjur karma chu Yes.
Okay. sorry.
You want
Given-
more?
It's so beautiful, Kimpo's chanting. Actually, I was just thinking it would be really nice. I know it would be a big thing, but if at some point we could get a recording of you chanting the entire Chuyingzo.
I think Chicago,
Oh, they
they
did.
already recorded my long, but we can do
Oh,
that.
okay.
Maybe we
Yeah.
have better
They did. Okay.
better system here. We are quite good at technology things. Yeah.
Sometimes depending on who's behind the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, like Lincoln is good.
Ah.
Given that everything is wholly positive, arising as a single state of spontaneous presence, that which is sublime and without rival, the greatest of the great, within which everything without exception is subsumed, is the wholly positive basic space of phenomena. Since everything is united within it as though under a monarch, it entails mastery over all samsara and nirvana and does not waver at all.
So maybe we need to remind us that when we dream something in the dream images, if trying to control it, maybe it's difficult, but as soon as you know this is dream, then you are the king, can control the dream images. Similarly, whatever rise or whatever sees or even any display that rise from the dynamic energy of bodhicitta, which means there's nothing but bodhicitta. So this bodhicitta is the king, or the principle that can control samsara and nirvana. Oh, I'm speaking in English.
No, that's
Okay.
great. Thank you. Please
Great.
continue.
And more. Tamje gun zong me zong je me be zong me bara kundu zong bo je top zong ma ro tamje ying je be tamje lun ro me yo nyam bara je.
Since everything is wholly positive, with not a single thing that is not positive, all things are identical within the wholly positive state, in which there is neither good nor bad. Since everything, whatever is or is not the case, is of the same basic space, all things are identical within the unwavering, spontaneously present state of equalness.
당가서 정첩 지sem들 잘래 코르와 샤르이 서두드는 코르와서야지 냠바지라 지 냥년인데 바 샤르이 서두 성보지 즈네 제거를 이나요 턴라 근도성 근상 서두드네 근성롱만 마상직 좀에서 너나 근도성 보스네 산 따고야 돼 네 성보 많이 봐 좀 maybe 좀 생기 군상 생도 다 인치 돌 줄도 때문에 그래서 사론도 영도 ever positive 생도 all good 생도 깝깝 나 간디 줄는 되거든요 성보지 마도 냠바지 짤되나 니가 말했어요 다 된다 들어.
And so in the dynamic energy of the awakened mind is what all the entire display of samsara or nirvana that emanates. Normally we have this concept, or we consider, for instance, the phenomena of samsara to be negative and the phenomena of nirvana to be positive, but actually all the dynamic energy of the awakened mind, all of it is wholly positive. Or kundu zangpo is the word in Tibetan. There is nothing that is not positive. There is no like non-positive. There's no negative. It's the all good or wholly positive. There is no negative display or negative dynamic energy.
Ana chili shara malu chuji yin sharmi non la drume zardu me toru rongi yin li shemi be kong le zor shin kong de zhu barai shi. Jikin nyam lo nan diksa. Sarvi yur me gumbin tongwa me drabini me shani onwa me. Dong bi nyam ni ju ji gu lun zo de le jian bu yin su ndu nyam de lo shan de ni ma two part together.
Do you mean do English and Tibetan together?
No,
No. Oh, okay. Two
part
parts together. Okay.
Mhm.
Am I starting with the single state from which everything?
Mhm.
The single state from which everything without exception arises is the basic space of phenomena. There is nothing to achieve or to seek within the context in which nothing need to be done. Effort and achievement are not other than their natural state of basic space. Whence could effort come? To what achievement could it lead? Since there is no object to seek, nothing to perceive in meditation, no state to achieve, nothing that comes from anywhere else, and no coming or going, there is equalness, Dharmakaya. This spontaneous perfection is found within the basic space of the supreme sphere of being.
Jerthong zo zhup saya de nga zo zunru saya chu zhubi gao su zunru saya de go yori sa. Tene zhuba nyam len sa nga zo zhup saya de. Tene zurwa saya. Ate zo zo zhup chene nga zo chu zhup yorwa. Te zhup chene tene gom jab zhuba nyam len chi saya ti gao su chi zhup ju yoba chi zong yorwa. Yina da teng ngoma la ayong de da rong gismi devar shik bin bo te ye duma ne rong ju la drop de va yindu na sarba ji solwa tang droba che ne drobya tang gom jam ne tene sa ron ro ya tang droba nyam le che ne top yong ya yo ma re so te ye ne flun zo tekle chen bo yin sun de so da tam che de ndorna flun ji zo ba Tigle kicking on that and do the orders. That Tiglis and that Jeffon. Kick brook. And do the orders.
So normally we have these ideas of, the need for diligence and consistent like effort in practice. And that, it is through making effort, through diligence, through meditation, that we experience the results or that accomplishment is achieved. But from and so there we have this concept of something to accomplish, something to be achieved. But from the perspective of the true nature of the mind or the Tathagata Garbha, the Buddha nature, there is spontaneous or there's primordial, like it is primordially accomplished. There is nothing new to be created or to be accomplished. There's nothing to be developed through meditation. We don't get any better through, the effort in practice. There's not anything to achieve. And so, as it says, and there is no coming or going, just the equalness of Dharmakaya. The spontaneous perfection is found within the basic space of the supreme sphere of being. So all is contained or spontaneously accomplished within the supreme sphere of what's translated here as the supreme sphere of being, and the single tigle or the single bindu.
Mhm. However, we often see, or especially in the Nyingma tradition, we have 9 yanas, but we can divide these 9 yanas in a tradition, but especially the Nyingma tradition, we have these 9 yanas. So 9 yanas, how sort of effort for practice start with effort for practice to become effortless practice. So these 9 yanas have a sort of progressive way to get there. And first we read the Sutik Triyanas, and then outer Tantra Triyanas, and then inner 3 tantras, but it's a little bit different system. When we talk about these Paju, Maju, and Nimeju, and so forth, but here is more Maha and Anu and Adi is coming. So we go through this slowly.
So we have another very trusty chart from James. But in any case, he was the words that Kimbo was just referring to in Tibetan are the father tantras, mother tantras, and non-dual tantras. But in this system, you have the divisions of Maha, Anu, and Ati.
Nam Gandavi Kondonje Atenjo Son Nanjuru Chembulong Nangye Ye Me Yongwe Nam Kala Rangyong Ye Shishin Nangjo Kondong Te Gun Yingbun Chonde.
So just the one, right? The one.
Yeah.
The transmissions of Shiravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas are decisive concerning the non-existence of both the self and what pertains to it, and so they are identical in their intent, a space-like state free of elaboration. The transmission of supreme yoga, the sublime secret of Ati, is that of resting in genuine being, just as it is naturally occurring timeless awareness within this spacious state in which there is no distinction between self. And so the ultimate meaning of the enlightened perspectives of all 3 lower approaches is subsumed within the sublime heart essence.
Then
Itikbagu Rinpoche Ndudubi, etc.
the Tiba Tambo Nye Doi Tikba Songlo, Nyen Tu Ranger, Shangchip Simba Soms, Tashang Nyen Tu Gitikba Te, Ranger Shangchip Simba Disum Gitikba Tela, Doi Tikbasa. And Doi Tikbikapsu Karis Sungor, Da and Dag Mebertaji, this, Da and Dag. Also da said it, Dagi said, me and my things. Yoro, that's Katon Manjuvalda, Ambongashi dollar changers in dog and the Shimola charge of Sonju Chenda Rome by enrolling in Jichu Tillanders. Then some Yoro, then do.
The dumble round. First one grass that so.
Maybe it's a little bit difficult, I guess. Okay. You don't have text here, yeah. It's fine.
Is it from the Bodhicharya Avatara? or the
Uh,
37
no,
Bodhisattva practice? No,
Madhyamaka avatar.
Madhyamaka avatar. Oh, okay. So first one grasps at a self. Maybe somebody can
Yeah.
find the quote.
Yeah.
And
Someone
then
writes
grasps
already,
at
so,
at
yeah.
bees think I first. Perfect. Excellent.
Maybe Lincoln too. Yeah.
Can you write it in the chat, maybe, Lincoln?
Right, and it's take too long.
And so then, so first, or you want me to go ahead
Yeah,
and say this?
take too long.
So we have the, also the first of these 9 vehicles, the first 3 are the, from the Sutric vehicle being the categories of Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. And this is based on the realization of the lack of selfhood of me and mine. So there's the first the concepts of self or me and mine, and then this quote from the Madhyamaka Avatara, which a number of our members have memorized. So beings think I at first and cling to self. They think of mine and are attached to things. They thus turn helplessly as buckets on a water wheel, and to compassion for such beings I bow down.
Mhm. Tene daga dagar sungwa ina nga tso rawa meba korbalan chamga ste indu nyendo ina ri rangja ina ri shongchup simpe tikba kange kapse ina dang daga mebar ta chugo ta ji ne tunda ngoma te chudar namkha dawa song tanda chuji jing chuben ta tamji tan tarwa tene mane sungma tarda tanda ngomba dropke zong chuben ta ji tang tarwa sen chuben ta she tang tarwa sen tende yuwa o tiso gogo yores
Jedangda or
Huh?
Jedangda. And so as long as there are these concepts of me and mine, these 2 types of grasping, then there's just endless suffering, or one it turns helplessly as buckets on a water wheel. And so through the realization of the lack of selfhood of the 2 types of self, then one realizes the meaning that is beyond all elaborations, specifically as Nagarjuna mentions, beyond or free from the 8 extremes or the 4 extremes.
tene da chuben ta ji tang tarwa se kongi tenjin derwa nyungakwa meba chimi pa chiba meba ta meba owa meba ndo meba tati tumi tenji me chuba nyiri shidam sobi sanje ma namji tamba tala chan tala singa so ndongi yo tada ina te miksi tanda me na riksa ndona chuben ta ji tang tarwa sidu nga su semgin chirso maang che de tende ji tamchi lebu yor teso tamchi tang tarwa yingo kore eso.
So with regard to the freedom from the 8 extremes, or all elaboration, so then Kimbo just quoted this verse, whatever is dependently originated. Oh, thank you very much. That which originates dependently does not cease and does not arise, does not come and does not go, is not annihilated and is not permanent. It is not different and not the same. To the true teacher who reveals this peace, the complete pacification of constructs, to the perfect Buddha, I bow down.
Maybe chuji 대리에서 년도 랑자 형집 선비기 따와트 대차하라. 대차도 되네 대당
So de ongwa dang roa me ba niento dang rang sanje dang jangchugi simba tawa.
아하 따와트. 다통 다크메 바테라와. 대당 디 족신기 따와당 아디스나 족신와. 아디 따와닌 가르와르에서는 말했어. 아디 갈라고 그랬으나 아딘 족성 난줄 첨부 다든 현 히르미 양외 남칼라서 그래서 다서야 돼 현서야지 니요 말했어. 대인도 매바 베나 남카난 시레스 티ঙ라 랑숑기 시
So da
다다 현 매바
me ba namga.
바구레스 만데 츠킨다나 누군도 나
Oh de rang la yorbe.
spacious state.
So me ba
49.
namka tabure.
따와트 남가다고 다당 현요 말했어. 랑숑 이시 시신나는 욕배에서 티ঙ라 르비 이시 시신도 나르든 조금 교마마인 번 조과데 인도 년도 랑제 형접 생계 공바테 아데 족행게 공배 농래 누디어래서
And so this freedom from coming and going or dini chi yang tenda de taji dang drawagi lungtendi yang lo imbe. Oh, okay, all right, because there's another. But this view or the view that is beyond or free from the extremes of coming and going and so forth, which is what is realized or the view realized by Travakas, Pratyekya Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, that is without grasping to self and grasping to mine, or without these two types of, selfhood. Is not different from the Ati Dzogchen view. It doesn't contradict it. It is not different from it. And that it says, within the spacious state in which there is no distinction between self and other, so the ultimate meaning of the enlightened perspectives of all the three lower approaches is subsumed within the sublime heart essence. So the views of the three lower vehicles, Shravakas, Pratyekya Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, are subsumed or included within this view of Ati Dzogchen as well. There's no contradiction.
I think we are not going to finish for Yanas. So if you have one or two questions, we can discuss. And then today's teachings, we need to stop because as time is coming.
So I think there are some questions in the.
Okay. I think Lincoln is doing.
Go ahead, Lincoln. I can't see you. I'm sorry.
The first question is from B. It says, which tenet does Longchenpa's view belong?
I couldn't hear what.
Which tenet does
Which tenet?
Longchenpa's view belong to? And,
Perhaps
I
tenet
think she means
system?
Yana, right? Or is-
Trumta or the Tikpa? Maybe.
so we.
Tenon
Mhm.
is Trumta. Trumta means in really Tibetan, Rigby Trubinta.
I do mean the tenet,
Yeah.
like
so
the Sautrantika,
the question
Vaidashika,
is,
Oh,
Chittavajra,
okay.
can Madhyamaka
Prasangika, and so on.
one to enlightenment?
couldn't make
So she was saying Drupta.
or
Drupta.
Trumta.
Uh-huh. And there are two parts to her questions. So first one is which view to which tenet or which Drupta does Longchenpa's view belong?
Trumta Serna Rongi Semgi Rigby Trubin Tajila from Tasagoro. Got wrong Semgi. This is a part of service. Each in this is a use. Tell it from Tasendo. Not to take back go yorwa. From Takasi,
G.
yorwa. Kagarendo, turned out the Kagaro. The from Tasadu wrong is Zamsu yorwa. Each yorwa. Trubin Tasadu wrong Rigby Katsusaji. Part of the Kasusaji 2 symptom, the Kasisa Yichindo, Telesegorova. In the and Akbar Jamorambachi, Jawarambachi, Tesumdo. Tawa Tamchi Pong which are Kodam Telechansalos. Tawa Tamchi Pong which are Kodam Telechansalos. Dona Kodam Kodam Masana Sanji Jumdende Shakjatwala Sungaro. Kongi Tawa Tamchi Pongres. Tawa Senanda Trubintasan and the Tochu Jibaro. In the Talonchemba, Monichina from Tali, the Garwachi Goro. And then patient Ludropji. Ngala Kene Yona, Ludrop wrong the Kene Yona, then John Dioris. Ngala Kene maybe. And John maybe Kona is on the Tendo Longchenba from Takaris and this Kaluj.
Helen and Mena, got it? Ludruki.
Ngala Kene Kaya maybe Jim Senji, Ngala John Koya Maze. In the Longchenba from Tarang.
Your money, yeah. So when we speak of the like tenet systems or philosophical views, these are based on kind of the mind of reasoning and a kind of logic. They're positions that are sort of, also like conceptual positions or also based on opinions, views, and beliefs that are conceptual in nature. And so if there is so for instance the Dalai Lama, right, says to the one who has completely abandoned all views or completely cast off all views, the great Gautama or Buddha.
And long
so what he says, in reading or recollecting the sutras. Yeah. To the Buddha, when he reads the sutra, to the Buddha or Gautama, I prostrate, who, because he is completely, has completely abandoned all views. So Longchenpa also is beyond any such views or tenet systems or philosophical views because he dwells within the realization of the perfected essence. And so same Nagarjuna also himself has said, if I have some position, then I am at fault. But because I don't have any position, or I don't assert a position, for that reason, I'm without any fault or. Arebe.
근데 좀다 시스도 한다. 시타마와 너대바 샘잠바 우마스도 정말 너기 개잘인도가 대인도 전에 막 티노네 야 적견을 렘도도 다 샘잠 음에 나와 텔레 안되고 그러
And also the philosophical schools or tenet systems, Sautantrika, Svatantrika, mind only, or Chittamatra and Madhyamaka. And they are, of the sutra system, so they fall into the category of sutra. But the Dzogchen is Tantra. And so it is actually, beyond, it doesn't adhere to any tenet system, or it doesn't fall into any of these sutra categories.
More? Okay.
Or Vaibhashika, I'm sorry, Vaibhashika, Sautantrika, Chittamatra, and Madhyamaka.
Yeah, so there's actually two questions, one of which is from B asking as to whether Madhyama can lead one to enlightenment. And then there's a second question from another student.
Okay. Yeah. Of course. I don't want to say Madhyamaka doesn't lead to enlightenment. According to Tantras, which what we think we are, yogins and yoginis, yeah. So the sutra level practice 6 paramitas and so forth. It takes 3 countless
Eons.
I cannot talk anymore. Karwa Tommy Somli Sok Sane, and then Tarum Bartok Song Chikores, T knowledge on Pakwicha Mata Bicha Naja Lanchine, and then Yan come to Soldo, which is some jella. This Pemata Biena, and Lela O, Sonjikum Moset. Tobia Yomaris, T knowledge, and 맞죠. 맞짐바터서 하고 그래. 정말 바로 짐바 초기나니 짐비 바로 짐바래 짐비 바로 짐비 값서 오다연라 그래서 짐바 당체네드네 야 람테네라 그래.
So in this system, and that Sutrayana system, it takes 3 limitless kalpas of gathering the accumulations and purifying obscurations to reach the state of enlightenment. And so, with that in mind, there are, for instance, the stories of the Buddha's past lives, so like the 500 pure births and or lifetimes, and the 500 impure lifetimes or impure births. And in all of those many births that he took as a bodhisattva, he also, took birth in the hell realm, suffered in the hell realm. And so it is not, easy to this path is very arduous and involves, a really deep level of practicing the 6 perfections, particularly with the perfection of generosity, where, one has to get to the point where one is able to give away, to sacrifice one's limbs or even, one's head, in the practice of generosity, to give one's limb, one's life, one's body, one's head, and so forth.
The next question is from J. Mark. In the line, so the ultimate meaning of the enlightened perspectives of all 3 lower approaches is subsumed within the sublime heart essence. The question, does this also mean that in the path of the lower vehicles, a full enlightenment also can be achieved?
Achieve through their own path or achieve?
He's quoting from the text.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
question is,
The Tibetan from that line, can you?
Yeah, this one.
So the ultimate meaning of the enlightened perspectives. I don't have the Tibetan.
공동체 균형 보지 오는데.
So does this also mean that in the path of the lower vehicles, a full enlightenment can also be achieved? So dini di niento rang sanje jangchu sembeki tekba nangla dini yang dakbe jangchu zokbe jangchu to sigirebe or jangchu gopang chikpa dobe.
특히나 리스가 맞들 요된 야르덴스 요된 야르덴스나 틱바 멤비기 타금큐 somte 틱바 코메노라 두디오레 세고레 마도 틱바 코메기 타금큐 somte 틱바 오메노 두디오 세고마
Oh, yeah, that's a really good way to.
대신도 아디 요기기 초도 성에 난줄티 냠랭 제바이나 년도란조 형접성 그 따와서 멕시카가 냠랭 지고고요 말 그 티논 드디어 그래서 가서 년도란조 형접성 som게 따와 지고 냠랭 제바이나 근데 반영본 쪽 따와 디논 드고요 말와 팀에바인도 근데 같은 처음에 som라서 봐
So not exactly, because so the way that the 9 vehicles work is that the in lower vehicles, it's like a cone. It's like everything that exists in the lower vehicles is there in the higher vehicles, but it isn't the case that what is there in the higher vehicles is there in the lower vehicles. With regard to the view, meditation and conduct, so an Ati yoga practitioner, like a supreme yogi, doesn't practice a view that is difficult from, or that is different from the view of the lower vehicles, because everything that is there is subsumed within that most supreme view, or that is there within that level of practice, but it isn't the same view for those of the lower vehicles. They their means is still tinitso sagang dripa jangche gogare sungimbe.
너나 아득이 빅바트 냠는 치바이나 네 년도랑저 형수 스베틱 바스 카갈라 냠는 치고가 티논 소르 두디 그랬어.
So in brief, like an Ati yoga practitioner doesn't practice a view that is different from that of the Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. It is there as part of it. It is also contained within.
Okay, now thank you.
But it's not the reverse.
Yeah. And now to dedication. Dedication.
So we'll do the dedication on page 24 of the prayer book.
Yeah, if you have time, please come back tomorrow. And we will discuss more yanas. You please remember there are 6 more yanas we need to talk about. Yeah.
By the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drikungpa Ratna Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase, study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Okay, thank you, Kanabuchi, and thank you, everyone. So this really opportunity, so so can Rinpoche teaching, special teaching, so also can Rinpoche said so we can up to the 9 yanas, so not stay in the only 3 yanas.
What did you say?
Not stay in only the first 3 yanas, won't stay.
Up to the 9 yanas.
Oh, yes, exactly. Come back. If you don't come back, then
You're stuck.
you would not know what those 6 yanas. But anyway, thank you. See you tomorrow. Good night.